Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dreamleapers Inspiration. I'm your host, Harriet Cole, honored to be here with you in this moment right now. I was just looking at the words that, for those of you all who see this on video, get to see, let's pause with me. Let's take a moment to be still and to tap into our greatness. How often do you do that? And do you even believe that greatness lives within you? If you tell yourself the truth, do you believe that? I'm asking, do you? And do you take the time to connect to that place, which can be a moment? It doesn't have to be long. I went to a wonderful panel discussion just this past week at the Whitney Museum, and it was a discussion about Black beauty in connection with the Amy Sherald show at the Whitney Museum. Anybody who hasn't been to that, you should go. Amy Sherald is the artist who did the portrait of Michelle Obama when they were still in office. And it's a beautiful, colorful portrait that hangs in the National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C., but right now is on display at the Whitney. Anyhow, during this panel discussion, there were 4 female entrepreneurs in the beauty and in the beauty space. And at a certain point, they were talking about their self-care. And one woman who has built a multi-million-dollar business and is doing very, very well, still small business and, hauling in order to make things work, said that before her feet touch the floor in the morning, she is counting her blessings out loud. She is taking in big, deep breaths to connect to her spirit. She is offering prayers all before she touches that phone, before she looks at an email, before she's talking to other people. She is grounding herself and centering herself within the core of her being. And this was a dynamic sister. And I loved hearing this because it's probably 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, really short time to get centered, to connect, to be present and show up for the day with your full self. And that is so important and often something that we are just busy and don't remember to do. And so when you aren't aligned with your greatness, with that connection to the divine that makes you strong and clear, then it's very easy for you to fall off course in one way or another. We've all experienced this. But when we recognize that we actually have some power over this, that we don't have to allow ourselves to be knocked around like a bowling pin, we can have control over how we move through time and space and what our thoughts are and what our actions are, that we really can. That's a powerful thing to understand, that we can have control over our being, over our thoughts, our words, and our deeds. And therefore, when things happen, and they always happen, when there are stumbling blocks, when there are challenges, when those challenges are before us, we can make conscious choices about how to move forward because we're in alignment with our spirit and in the flow, in God's flow, right? That's powerful. It's a powerful thing for us to think about. And part of why I've been sitting with this is this concept that we're focusing on today of letting go. One of the hardest things to do is to let go of something that is routine, something that is comfortable, something that is familiar. A lot of times people will say they would rather stay in something that they know than venture off to something else. And yet, that's not how you grow. When you stay in the present moment and allow yourself to be fully present so you can see around you, what are you supposed to be seeing? What are you supposed to be knowing? What is happening? Why did this thing come into my purview, and what am I supposed to do with it? When you have a bit of objectivity, but also presence, you have shown up with your full self. You're not distracted. And oh, what's before you? And can you engage your power when you look at it? These things are simple and profound at the same time. How do you show up to the various things that are happening in your life? How prepared are you to be present so that you can see what is before you clearly? And then make a conscious decision as to what you want to do next. This is different from having a knee jerk reaction. Reacting to something is different from being present, observing, and making a choice. Do you hear that? Reacting is different. How often do we feel that anything can ignite us because maybe we're feeling fragile, we're feeling tired, we're feeling upset, we're feeling wronged, we're feeling diminished, angry, frustrated, all those things. I really want you to think about this deeply. What happens within you when you have any of those feelings? For me, I often lash out. I often, if it's even if it's just in my head, I may have thoughts that are dismissive thoughts. Later for you, stronger language often. Uh, I'm not going to go so far as to say this, but this has happened. If something is really upsetting me, then I could even have the thought, well, I don't care what happens to you because I'm mad, because I'm hurt, because I'm whatever. That energy, that swirl is unhealthy because when you're in that swirl, it's almost like a tornado. You can't see 'cause, your vision is cloudy. You just have a whole lot of energy and feeling. But because there's no peace in that, it's hard to understand what's happening. What does this mean? Why am I feeling like this? Why is this happening? What is my role in what's happening? How can I gain the clarity of vision to see what is actually before me? And when I can, what do I see and what do I do? So I want to ask you about a few things because this is something I talked to my team about this last week, about this notion of letting go. And we had a really deep conversation about the challenges of doing that. And last week we were talking about compassion. So there's, okay, how do you have compassion and also know when to let go? Because one doesn't negate the other. I want you to think about people, situations, experiences in your life that are not serving you anymore. Think about it. What may not be serving you right now in your life right this minute? What isn't working? It could be something that you are doing or not doing that's creating a problem. It could be a relationship that you're in that is unhealthy and is hurting your soul or even your physical being. It could be your work and how you engage it or not. Ask yourself what is not working and what should you say goodbye to? What should you let go of? Even if it feels scary. What would happen if you let go of this person, situation, experience, place, thing, habit that isn't serving you? What would happen? And can you imagine that something good could happen if you allowed yourself to be free of something that is no longer serving you? I really want you to ask yourself that. In fact, I want you to do it so much, let's do a little meditation on it because this is powerful. And by the way, this meditation may not be so comfortable, but please do it with me just for a few minutes. You know how we do mini meditations here. So I want you to place your feet flat on the floor, hands, thumb and forefingers together, hands on your knees. Sit up straight, but relax your shoulders. And you may close your eyes if you like. You may leave them open if you like, but just breathe. And Fallon, we didn't know we were going to do this, but if you would put, I don't need to be on the screen so much as, like the water or something that will uh, take people's consciousness away from me and onto themselves. And if you have any sound, you can play it. And if you don't, it's fine. We hadn't planned this. But everybody just breathe. Breathe in goodness. Exhale goodness. This goodness that here is the water coming in onto the sand. Just hear the water lapping. You can keep your eyes closed if you'd like, or you could look at it if you'd like. But the point is to be with yourself. Be still. Let the sounds of the waves soothe your spirit. Allow yourself to be here now, to be really present, to trust that this is a safe moment for you to commune with yourself and to allow God to enter your being in a very powerful, conscious way. Fill your being with light as you breathe in. And as you exhale, let go of anything that's making you uncomfortable. Breathe in light, and exhale discomfort. Breathe in light, exhale discomfort. Just breathe naturally and allow yourself to be present and ask yourself what is making you uncomfortable right now. What is not serving you now? What is making you feel agitated, brittle, angry, fearful, isolated, unhappy? If there is anything, and if there isn't, please don't make it up. If there isn't, just breathe and be grateful that you don't have that. But a lot of people do have this swirl of negativity right now. And if it exists anywhere in your life, notice it now. Invite it to come forth. Don't be afraid. And just release it with your breath. Notice it. You see a person's face. Notice their face. And even if you have a really contentious relationship with the person, notice the face with sweetness, with compassion. Notice God in that person, even if that person is hurting you right now. Offer light to that person, even as you realize you need to release them. Breathe. Allow whatever is standing in your way to come forth. What is it? What is it? If it's part of your own self, offer that up too. If there's an aspect of your behavior that isn't serving you, offer it up. Offer compassion and let it just flow like the lapping water on the sand. Go deep. Go deep for yourself. What is hurting you? What is standing in the way of peace for you? See it. Release it. See it. Release it. Let go. You can. You can. You can let go of whatever isn't serving you now. Right this moment, as you are breathing into your own being, breathing light into your space, into your spirit. Let go of whatever is not serving you. Trust that you can do that now. Let go. Let go of what is holding you back from your greatness. Let go of whatever is making your heart heavy. Let go of whatever is not in alignment with who you are. And just breathe in peace and exhale peace. Breathe in peace and exhale peace. One more time. Breathe in peace and exhale peace. Very gently, you may open your eyes. How are you? Were you able to access something that you needed to let go? Feel free to write something in the chat if you have. Share with us whatever you're feeling, whatever's come up for you. How are you feeling right now? And if anybody wants to come on and talk with me, share what came up for you, you can. You can go online to harrietcole.com/inspiration and join the conversation if you would like. And I know sometimes when we go into that space, I know I was talking and I felt it. I went in. And I went in because I'm dealing with some stuff right now that is deep, it's a lot. And more than one thing, which we often are. And you can choose to be happy, but it doesn't mean that stuff doesn't happen. And you have to work on it. And even just our little meditation just now that hopefully helped you to release something. It helped me to release something. But that's in this moment. You don't get to do a meditation, you release it, and then it's gone forever. It's work. So let's look at the quote that I found for today. I think this is perfect timing to take a look at it. It says, the key in letting go is practice. Each time we let go, we disentangle ourselves from our expectations and begin to experience things as they are. That's from Sharon Salzberg. Let's look at that again. The key in letting go is practice. Okay, just right there. Letting go is not like you say, I'm letting go, and then it's over. It's not that simple because we have developed routines, we have developed bonds, we have developed relationships, we have developed dependencies, and then you're going to let go? How can you let go of something that has been with you for so long, whatever it is? How can you let go of something that has captivated your heart? How can you let go of something that has created some kind of stability for you, even if there's also been instability or unhappiness? It's not easy. So it takes practice. The key in letting go is practice. And Sharon says, each time we let go, we disentangle ourselves from our expectations. Okay, Think about that. Each time we let go, we disentangle ourselves from our expectations. Disentangling, the first thing I think of 2 things when I think of disentangling. One is curly hair, and maybe, not even curly hair, I've heard that straight hair does it too, but curly hair likes friends, and it likes to curl around each other, and if you haven't combed or brushed your hair in a while and you try to do it, ooh, it's tangled and it can hurt, and sometimes there are knots and you cannot get them out, you have to cut them out. Anybody had that experience? I surely have. And the other thing I thought of with disentangling is all these electronic wires that we have because of our, um, our electronics. We have so many of them, and sometimes often those wires get uh, entangled, and it could take forever for you to separate them. And sometimes you break some of the wires, and so then they're fragile. Well, that is the same thing happens in our spirit. Sometimes we have to disentangle ourselves from our expectations. This is what I want. This is what I expect. This is what I need. I've got my list. Well, maybe that list is old. It doesn't work anymore. Maybe you need a new list. Maybe you need no list right now. You need to wash that list away. Get disentangled from the things that you think should happen, right? And be present. Be quiet. Be still. Engage your power and then look again. She says, begin after you disentangle from your expectations, then you can begin to experience things as they are, right? One of my friends calls it real talk. Real talk. What's the real talk here? What is the truth? Sometimes we think the truth is one thing, but if we go deeper and deeper and deeper and take the layers away and take the all the stuff away that doesn't belong there, what is left? Do you do that for yourself? Sometimes our expectations don't make sense if we really look to see what's beneath them. Sometimes expectations have to do with fear. And I think now is the time for us to peel back the layers, to go. Let go of whatever is not serving us. Let go of old feelings that we've had that have created scars. Look at the present moment for what it is. Look at the people in your life for who they are. You can still look with compassion too, because you see them for who they are. You recognize them for who they are. You accept them for who they are, but it doesn't mean that you have to stay with them if they aren't serving you anymore. Virginia says, I have to let go of a friend who is trying to change my faith beliefs. Wow. That's a big one. So you have to know, to that point, Virginia, you have to know what your faith beliefs are. You whatever it is, whether it's your faith, it's whatever your situation is, but this is a really good one. What do you believe in your core? What are the values that propel you? And whatever they are, if you really know them and you own them, then you can be unwavering when others try to change you. And by the way, it doesn't mean on that note, on faith beliefs, it doesn't mean that other people can't have theirs, right? We can all have our beliefs, and your beliefs can be different from mine, but I don't appreciate you coming in trying to change mine. I agree with you on that one, Virginia. Okay, Sippy Ryder says, I could feel the chaos I was avoiding. I navigated through it without resistance. I'm grateful for this opportunity and proud of myself for releasing the weight. Yes, and doesn't it feel like weight? Sippy Writers Pamela, doesn't it feel like weight? Yes. When you are holding on to something and unwilling to release it, it can literally feel like a weight on your shoulders, like a burden. When you let go, the burden goes away. When you let go of trying to blame someone for how you feel, that's a huge one. Stop blaming people for how you feel. Let go. If they are not treating you well, if they're not treating you the way you want them to treat you, let go. You don't have to try to shake them into reality. If it's not working, stop. Let go. Let go. I want you to imagine what it can feel like to let go of feelings that don't serve you anymore, memories that hold you in the past, anger that's burned into your spirit. Let go. Let go of those things that do not serve you. One by one, make a list of what they are. This is a painful exercise, folks, but I'm here to tell you that it works. It is not easy at all. It takes practice. As our quote says, it takes practice. But if you practice it whenever, I was about to say every day, but whenever you feel yourself being caught up in the that triggering emotion, that swirl that can be paralyzing, step off, breathe, and tell yourself, I have enough control over myself. I don't have to do this anymore. And with faith, with trust that you do have the power within to let go, then you can. You can go back to neutral. You can then make a clear plan for how to execute your life. Nobody said it was easy. I promise you, this is not easy. But if there is something or someone, some situation that is holding you back from your true self, that is hurting you again and again, let go. You can. You have enough power within you to do so. And by the way, nobody said it's easy. I'm saying this again, but I interviewed a woman, and I'm not going to say her name, but you can find her name. I interviewed her, so she told the story. She's the first female billionaire from Jamaica. Female billionaire, by definition, Black. Highly successful. And as successful as she is, is how troubled her private life was. She kept picking the wrong guy again and again and again, and almost got killed multiple times. By the grace of God, she is still alive, and she wrote a memoir and talked about her journey, including all of that tender stuff with her personal life and all of the ascent for her business. And today, thank God she's in a healthy relationship. And part of it was letting go and trusting that she was valuable enough to not have to be in a situation where someone would hurt her. And she describes in vivid detail how she was crawling out of her house at one point because she thought she wasn't going to survive. Now, I am not saying that those of us gathered right here have been in that situation, but metaphorically, many of us have been in situations where we felt like we were crawling out of a dark space and maybe couldn't even crawl. Maybe we're, holed up in a corner with our head down. If you feel that way now about anything in your life, A, get help. You do not have to work through this alone. And B, recognize that there is power within you that you can access in alignment with God's will and get out and let go. It is possible. It has happened for so many people. You are worth the opportunity to fulfill your greatness. And if some part of you is not allowing you to do that right now, let go. Continue the meditation that will help you to see what's standing in your way, to see what you had misplaced feelings around, to see what may have been holding you back, and reclaim your power. Let go of whatever that might be. Make a plan and move forward. You are worth it. This is the time for us to be spiritual warriors for ourselves first. And so I offer this to you with intensity. I'm sure you feel it, with intensity and with love and with faith that each and every one of us has the ability to let go of whatever is not serving us. It will create a level of freedom that is so worth it. It will take that weight off of your shoulders. It will help you breathe more easily and more deeply. It will help you access that inner smile and move forward with grace and a bit of ease. But you have to practice. It's every day. It's every day. So I just want you to know that. I want you to be clear. Let's see, before we leave, here's another comment that I want to share with you. Sometimes it is not people. Sometimes we are the weight. Yes, the exercise is painful but necessary. I acknowledge that becoming God's best will require me to do the work. Amen. And I mentioned that, but maybe not strongly enough. If it's something about you that isn't serving you anymore, let it go. That's the hardest one to do, by the way, but necessary. Thank you all for sharing this moment. I hope you're leaving this moment feeling uplifted. This is nothing easy about it, but it's all worth it. Until next time, have a great day and make it count. Namaste.